You have the power to create miracles. Discover how small intentional actions can lead to extraordinary changes in both your life and the lives of others. You have the power to create a miracle. And today, that's what we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss why I have this placard right here, Be the Miracle, on my wall. I consider this wall my biggest vision board. Every time I walk into my office, I look at this wall. And if I'm going through a challenge, if I'm in a limiting belief, if I feel stuck, I just sit back, I look at this wall, and one of these placards will tell me a story. Today we're telling the story of Be the Miracle, why it's on the wall, what it means to me, how I use it. Every time I see this, I think about certain movies that I've watched. There's a movie out there about, it's called The Little Red Wagon or Little Red Wagon. It features Zach Boner, and he was a 6-year-old. We're all adults, and we're like, I can't be the miracle. Somebody had that thought, and I'm telling you, a 6-year-old changed the world. A 6-year-old from Florida. He watched the news, and the news was talking about how the hurricane had hit Florida, and how people needed supplies and needed water. And Zach's comment was, I bet you we can give them water. We have water we can give them. They can use our water. I bet that our neighbors have water that the neighbors will give. And Zach put together a 6-year-old. His plan was, I'm going to ask the neighbors for water so that I can bring it to the hurricane victims. That was his thought. He said someone should help the hurricane victims. We're going to get to someone. Someone should is a very important phrase here. He said someone should help the hurricane victims. And he became that someone. He put out flyers on all his neighbors' doors. And then on Saturday, he went up and down the block. And he went up and down. They put out so much. He had to make multiple trips. They put out so much that it got to the point where he couldn't transport everything in his mom's car and his neighbor's car. He had to go get U-Hauls. That's how much of a ripple effect he had. That's how much of an impact he had. You can make an impact on other people's lives just by being the miracle, just by taking one small action. That's one example. Another example, not to affect hundreds and thousands of people, although it did, it changed his lives. In this Pursuit of Happiness, a movie about Chris Gardner. And Chris was a salesman. He was selling things, and he came upon hard times. And he ended up being homeless for a while. But Chris seeked out proximity. Chris was his own miracle. He didn't wait around for somebody to create something. He went out and created himself. He created proximity to Wall Street, to traders, to stock traders. Chris learned that skill, stock trading. He made phone calls. He devised a way of making more phone calls in less time than all the other students around him. It was back in the days when it was landlines. He'd pick up the phone. He would dial it. He wouldn't put the phone down like everybody else. He would just dial it. When he had to make the next phone call, he'd just use his finger to hang up the receiver and start dialing again. That little 1 or 2 seconds between phone calls he saved, he was able to make a whole bunch more phone calls. It turned out that he changed the tides because he became his own miracle. Chris became that stock trader. He won the coveted spot. And after that, he went out and created a financial institution where he made investments for people. And he helped other people reach financial success. I'm going to stand here. Look, this is what happens. Sometimes you... Guys, I'm sorry about that, but this is live. This is what happens. And you just roll with the punches. That's another quick lesson. Everybody's afraid that it has to be perfect. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Shit's going to happen. Roll with it. You'll work your way through it, and things will be okay. Back to it.
Chris Gardner created that company, and he isn't homeless anymore. Now he's helping people create their version of financial success. I have a list here. That's why I keep looking off to the side. David Goggins. He was in pest control. He weighed 300 pounds. He was the miracle in his own life. He chose to change. There's nobody out there that has better tenacity than him. You have the ability to be your miracle. You have to step out of that comfort zone. You have to take that chance. You have to be okay with people making fun of you. You have to be okay with, think of it as being a crab, right? When I was a kid, we used to go crabbing, and those crabs used to grow and grow and grow, and they'd push against their shell, and then they'd have to shed that shell. That's what being the miracle is about in your own personal development. You could be your own miracle. You could fight your way out. It's absolutely possible. Moving on to personal examples, things that I've done to be the miracle, to change my life and to change other people's lives. I wanted to learn real estate, and I started learning real estate. And one of the things they say in real estate is go to meetings, be around the people that you want to emulate. Well, I'm in a small little community here. My zip code has 15,000. Yeah, my zip code has 15,000. My county has 50,000. When I was growing up in the city, 15,000 was like the people that were on my block. And now that's in my entire zip code. So my area is very small. I don't have a lot of people around me. So there was a state meetup close to me. The closest one was an hour and a half away. I didn't want to drive. That's 2 hours. If you got to make that grind, that's part of making the grind. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But I was the miracle, and I said, you know what? Why don't I bring the people to me? Why don't I start a real estate meetup? And through that meetup, I gained proximity to other investors. Through that meetup, I gained proximity to beginners. Through that meetup, I gained proximity to millionaires that had big portfolios that I could learn from. Through that meetup, I gained proximity to individuals that I could add to my team. Sewer guys, plumbers, electricians, real estate agents, brokers, CPAs, other investors that I could collaborate with. That's what Be the Miracle is. Be the Miracle. DTS protocol, I have written down here, direct to seller. Was I going to wait for a broker to bring me a deal? Or was I going to go out there directly to the property owners and work deals myself? I wasn't going to leave it in somebody else's hands. I'm only as good as the brokers that feed me deals. No, I'm going to pound the pavement in my market. I'm going to find those properties that I want to buy. I had a list of 225 properties that if you wanted to sell, I would buy in right there on the spot. I knew I was already interested in the property. So I would mail those individuals. That took time to put together. But that was being the miracle. The ripple effect of that was I now had experience in building DTS. I could talk to other people about what was working, what wasn't working. I could add value to them. And I was meeting property owners in the market. I was building those relationships. Even if they didn't want to sell, I was still building that relationship. Excuse me. So that when they did want to sell, I was first of mind. Mommy and me, I moved to the country. Stay-at-home moms. Amazing individuals. But they don't have all the resources. They don't have things to do with their kids. Again, I'm in a very rural area. So what can I do? How can I provide value to all of these moms? I started a Mommy and Me Center, which then turned into a preschool center, which turned into the largest preschool in the county. Now, it's not a huge county, right? 52,000 people, but I'm still the leader in the county. I'm still providing care for all of those kids in a learning, fun environment. They're not just sitting there.
It's a preschool. These kids need to explore. They need to run. They need to have fun. It's not about just sitting. That was the whole philosophy and learning practice behind what we developed from the ground up. I didn't wait for somebody to do it. I went out there and I did it. I was the miracle. Be the miracle is about taking action. Sometimes small actions, sometimes large actions. Where in life will you take action? Where can you take action? Think about the times you say, someone should, or I should. A lot of inspiration comes from someone should. Someone should help the hurricane victims. That's what Zach did.
Someone should pick up the trash. How do you start that? Someone should pick up the trash, right? Someone should pick up the trash turns into, I go to the county and I'm like, I want to start a spring cleanup day or a river cleanup day. We do river cleanups. People go up and down the Delaware and just make sure that the bank's clean in the spring from all the winter washout. So instead of just saying someone should, be that miracle. Be that someone. Go out there and do it. Get it done. You never know what it's going to lead to. There's a big ripple effect that comes from this. The ripple effect is, one, you feel good about yourself because you're adding value to others. 2, you get to meet some really interested individuals. 3, sometimes those meetings turn into collaborations. 4, if you're doing like a county cleanup thing, you're interacting with the politicians in the county, which they know a lot of people. It can lead to other things. But we're not doing it because it's going to lead to other things. We're doing it for the same reason Zach did it, because someone needed help. Zach went out there and he made it happen. It's literally on my shirt. MIH right there. MIH is a mastermind I belong to, but it stands for Make It Happen. And I believe in that philosophy. Go out there and make it happen. Don't sit there and say someone should, someone should, someone should. Be the... Sorry about that. I'm trying to hold my phone. Be the miracle. Go out there and be the miracle. So where in life, I will challenge you to this. Where in life will you go out there and be the miracle? Where in life can you take a small action and make a big impact? How are you going to impact someone else's life? And how are you going to impact your life? Guys, around here we believe in living up top in the numerator, not down in the denominator. We believe in results over excuses. Go out there today and be unstoppable and absolutely crush your day. I love spending time with you guys. Have a blessed day.